So, hello, amazing DevRel professionals. Welcome to DevRelCon in Prague one more time. I'm part of the team who was helping to bring DevRelCon to Prague, so it's so nice to see you all here. DevRel professionals, tech community builders, community members, supporters, welcome, it's great. And I was also part of the program committee, and I was reading all of these proposals for DevRelCon. Thank you for submitting your talks. It was a great joy to read it and to give the feedback on those talks. Thank you for that. Today, I will be given the talk that is named One DevRel Hat and 500 Devs to Wear It. And I will describe the approach that we use at Kiwi.com to the internal community building to promote our engineering culture and strengthen our tech brand. And I will be wearing a hat today. But before I will jump to my talk, I want to use this couch as a therapist couch. The thing is, when I was preparing my talk, even my abstract, I was panicking a little bit because I'm not a developer advocate. I'm tech community manager, and I'm managing internal community of developers. And I was thinking, maybe you're too seasoned to hear that. Maybe you know this all. And then I talked to Matthew, who was my amazing therapist. He said, no, you definitely can do that. You should do that. And I decided to submit my proposal. And then I was thinking, actually, it's the first time for 7 years that we're building this internal community. I got to bigger stage to communicate that, to share with you guys. And I'm thinking also about wider audience, CTOs, VPs, directors who are kicking off their internal communities and tech brands right now, and maybe newly hired community managers who are kicking off their tech communities. So I'm keeping in mind the wider audience. So bear with me, if you know it all, I need your support. Let me briefly introduce myself. At Kiwi.com, I manage internal tech community, and I have experience in community management. Before, I was working not only with developer-oriented communities, but also with more communities, such as community of educators and international students. But I still love working with developers. You can always find me on the socials I mentioned here. I'm still on Twitter, but I'm moving to Mastodon to chat tech community building, and you can also check out my super cute, kind of popular on Twitter and soon on Mastodon cats. I posted special cat photo, by the way, just for you, just for DevRelCon, so you check out the hashtag. And let's set up the expectations a little bit. So today I will introduce what is code.kiwi.com community about. I will briefly tell you about the history, back to the oranges, right? I will be talking about the approach and the tools we are using in the community. Then we will take a look at the measurements, because it's hard but important, right? And I will share the plans and some inspiration for future. But before I jump to the agenda, are you familiar with our product? Have you ever searched your next trip using Kiwi.com search engine? Please raise your hand if yes. Okay, I can see some hands, amazing. Maybe I have some folks who travel to DevRelCon in Prague using Kiwi.com. Really? Okay, great, hello. Good to see you here, that's great. No, we are good at bringing people to DevRelCon. Okay, but today, I'm not talking about our product. I'm talking about our engineering department and internal community. What is code.kiwi.com? What is code.kiwi.com community? This is the name of our sub-brand, and this is the name of our internal tech community. The members of this community are Kiwis of the engineering department. But we are not developer-first company. We are a B2C company, and our customer is everyone who is in search of nice travel option for their trip, for their next trip. Why do we need to use the tools of outreach to tech community in B2C company? before I jump to that, let me share what we are doing in our community. In code.tv.com, we speak at local meetups and international conferences. We write in our tech blog and in the tech blogs of the technologies that we are using. We educate and mentor in local user groups, in coding schools, by ladies chapters. We create developer-friendly content using our socials. We support each other on the road of becoming community-minded professionals, and we travel a lot. We travel in tech company, and we are based not only in the Czech Republic, but also in Barcelona, in Bratislava, in Košice, in London, and we are constantly searching for new sites to open our offices. So yes, sometimes our community managers and our members of the community serving like a SWOT unit to research the landscape of tech community in a new site. Back to the origins, the history of the community. I really believe that to answer the question why we have it in our company, we need to take a look at the history. It all started with these two guys. Our CEO, Oliver, and our CTO, JK. A lot of great companies in Silicon Valley were founded in a garage. Our company was founded in a bar in Brno. When these two guys, JK, are you here? Hey. When these two guys met in a bar to discuss the virtual interlining idea, and after that, in 2012, Skypicker company was founded. It was our former name. So in 2015, we started rapid growth, and in 2016, we rebranded to kiwi.com. And in 2016, our CTO, JK, who is right there in the corner, started to come to the engineers, asking them, hey, do you maybe want to go outside to share your expertise and attract some like-minded developers? This is how our first community project, Python Weekend, started, by the way. So in 2016, we founded sub-brand code.kiwi.com, and we hired our first community manager to run this internal community. By the way, he's my manager, and he's also sitting right here in this room. Hi, Honza. At that time, we had the office of kiwi.com on villa, and on that villa, we had wine cellar. And that wine cellar was our community space to run all kind of community meetups and events. First members of the community shared that the atmosphere was very much welcoming, although it was cold from time to time. In 2017, we hired community team. It was no more solo community manager. And in 2018, we opened our first overseas office in Barcelona, and we started to scale our community initiatives, traveling with our educational projects all over Europe. We organized Women in Tech conference, global travel hack, and more. I met these guys in Moscow in 2017, if I remember correct. So we traveled a lot with our community projects, because I was not there at that time with the company, but I met my manager 6 years ago. And then 2020, pandemic hit our industry hard, and we were kind of adapting with the community to this online style and home office. It wasn't the best time for our community, but we survived. And in 2021, after the recovery of the industry, we started to rebuild the team. This is when I joined. And in 2022, we are on the mission of reactivation of our internal tech community. What's the goal? Why do we need to run tech community at kiwi.com? When I was researching on this topic, I realized that it's actually 3 sides of this story. Story of our CTO, story of our first hired community manager, and story of our first community members. When I came to JK and said, hey, why we established that in 2016? What's the goal? He said, you know what? We just wanted to post something and get to Hacker News. I was, really? And he said, oh yeah, I really think we wanted to get to Hacker News. I said thank you, and I went to talk to my to our first hired community manager. Honza said that at that time, SkyPicker wasn't really known among people relevant for hiring. And then Kiwi.com, brand new company, nobody knew us. So the goal was to let developers know about us and consider us as a department they would like to join in a smart way, using superpowers of our engineers. And when I asked our community members, what was the goal for you to participate in all that fun? They said, well, we just wanted to share knowledge, meet some people in tech, and have some fun. We are trying to make our community projects as fun as possible, so I think we succeed. When I came back to JK and asked him third time, we run this community for 7 years already. What's the goal? And he said, oh my God, stop asking me. I really think that sharing knowledge and giving back to the community is in our DNA. This is who we are in the engineering department, and this is why we are doing it for already 7 years. Now when I formulate it for myself, and you can totally read it with me because it's quite a line, I say that we share knowledge that we got in the engineering department with the developer audience to communicate our tech stack, projects, approaches to software development, and highlight our people, our engineers, so potential new joiners would know us before they got the call from the recruiter or they see the job ad. For a lot of people who join in our department, we are the first point of contact. Before I jump to the tools that we are using and describe briefly the approach, I want to make a note that all the value we bring inside the engineering department. We sit in the engineering department and we report to the CTO. We have head of the community and 2 chapters. DevRel is more like developer content chapter, and we have ops and support who support us on all kinds of different events. We have amazing merge because of them. We have good tooling in our team. Thank you, guys. I will mention you one more time during the talk. But yeah, engineering department is an amazing place to sit, by the way, for content chapter, because you are one of them. You are close to developers, and you can easily feel the engineering culture. You can be part of stand-ups if it's needed. You can shadow them during on-calls to feel the engineering culture. And it's easier for us, as a lot of our job revolves around mentoring developers on submitting their CFPs and teaching them how to behave on stage and being successful presenters and community-minded professionals. So it's really good to be in engineering close to the developers. And you can ask all kinds of stupid questions. They will answer. But how can we make it work? We have more than 500 engineers in the engineering department. We have 7 locations that we want to focus on, and counting, because we are constantly researching for new sites to open Kiwi.com offices. Our tech stack is quite diverse. We want to talk about a lot of stuff. We're definitely prioritizing, but still. And we have quite a small community team to run this internal community. At this point, I need to address the hat. We consider the role of the ambassador of our engineering department as part-time volunteer role that can be taken and passed among the citizens of the engineering department. Wearing a hat means you take extra responsibilities on top of your job to give back to the community. And we have a team in engineering department that will help you to be successful. We will help you with CFPs, with writing abstracts, with reviewing abstracts. Writing most likely will be done by yourself. I will mention it a little bit later. So it's a responsibility to give back to the community. So I captured this hat, and I'm presenting today on what is happening in our engineering department voluntarily. Don't get me wrong, we don't need to wear this hat every time we are presenting outside of Kiwi. It's just today I decided to wear it to describe the concept. So how can we make it work? I have one rule that I apply to developer-created content, and it can be very obvious to you, but I saw some companies that are doing differently. That's why I want to mention that. When we are creating and searching for the content, I have this rule: work internally or search internally and then shine externally. What does it mean? To outreach the external community, you need developer-created content. And I believe if you will be throwing all kinds of opportunities at your devs to be visible, they will not appreciate it because this is not their job. They are here to solve complex problems. They are here to write code. They are not here to be ambassadors or speakers or writers. So I believe if you search for the right content inside, it will be so much beneficial. Why? First of all, you will think strategically about your tech brand. You will talk to your CTO, VPs, and directors to understand what you would like to communicate about on your tech stack and on your engineering culture. With engineering leads, you would talk about who would be the best person in the engineering department to communicate that. And your community will appreciate that as they will feel that you care about their success. You put their success first, and you do not care only about the numbers of subscriptions on your newsletter or number of people who participated in your challenge during that you ran during the conference at your company stand. So you put their success first as speakers and writers. And you're avoiding stress. You don't want your community to prepare their abstract 1 week before CFP is closing. Although it's happening. We are writing right now our we are writing now our abstracts to apply for PyCon US. So if you haven't applied yet, it's time. But yeah, it's better to have the content before, and we have it. We just, trying to make it better before submitting. So in the end, I believe it will help you to create better developer content. You will be more prepared for public visibility. Okay, so you talk to your leadership and you had their support. They give you the suggestions on what you need to focus on technology-wise and location-wise, where to search for the content, because they will not give you all the answers. At this point, I suggest to look what you have inside of the engineering department, how you communicate between teams, tribes, organizations. I usually spy at all devs meetings. We have it monthly, organization-specific or tribe-specific town halls, architecture reviews. We have guilds in our company, Reliability Guild, Community Guild, Tech Excellence Challenge and Technology Geek Clubs. We have Haskell Geek Club, Camunda Geeks Club, Tech Speakers Club, and Engineering Lightning Talks, where devs could practice before they go publicly. So these are the helpers of community manager who is in search for the content to communicate outside. By the way, sometimes you are working on some piece of topic with your developer, and you will see that not everyone is knows about it in the company. So you can actually put on the hat and fill in this gap and ask your developer to present about it at next all devs meeting. So you will let the information flow freely in the engineering department. I will not describe how you should find the proper format to communicate this content, or how to find the right conference or meetup, or where to publish your information, because it's a huge topic and I'm more focused on other stuff today. I believe that in parallel there goes the amazing and the most important process of supporting your community to wear the hat. And here our community team works as a help desk for community members. We are here for you to help you before, during, and after your community initiative. What we tried before, we never write content for our developers. We just reviewing and helping them with the content that they created themselves. We are reviewing their bios and abstracts. We are running internal and external feedbacks. They will get the feedback internally and from friendly developers from other companies externally. We will help with nicer slides, and we will organize dry runs to let our developers be more successful while presenting. Our writers will get proofreading support and content feedback. During the community initiative, all kind of on-site support can be needed. From the information about the venue and timing to the stress relief practices, as we heard today. I usually use breath practices before the talks, and chocolate works good. After, we usually gather in content feedback because we want to know if the content was successful and we need to communicate it to our hat wearer. And we are also running community feedback. We need to understand if your community was successful enough to keep contributing. I would like to say maybe obvious thing. Don't forget to reward your community. They're working on top of their daily jobs, extra hours, writing their abstracts and rewriting them after getting the feedback. Although being part of the community is an amazing thing, but it's a job on top of your job. So you need to reward your people in the way that works in your community. Wearable merch, they always ask for it. And we also run in community appreciation events for our community. For example, we go to Budapest on our community project, and we're doing Hungarian Spa together and talking about our next ideas for community projects. The measurements, well, the tough part, right? How do you measure tech brands, internal community? It's extremely tough, and you can look at so many things. Number of email subscription, your social media stats, but let me describe what is important for us. When measuring, we usually look at two things: awareness and community happiness. When measuring awareness, we have the survey for everybody who is joining engineering department of Kiwi.com. And we are asking if they ever encountered anything that we are using as a tools in our community. They saw our speaker, maybe they read our article, maybe they read our blog post, maybe they saw our booth at the conference, maybe they chatted to our developer on LinkedIn after they published something. So we are checking the touch points, what worked for us. And we also trying to connect somehow community and recruitment, maybe a little bit, with next question. If those things that you saw that we did influenced your will to join our company, influenced your will to join engineering department. And equally important thing, community happiness. You need to somehow be sure that your developers were successful enough to keep doing that. In community happiness, we ask how happy they were with the support we provided for them, and we are asking how was their experience with the community initiatives, if they happy enough with that. I would like to share one scene. We actually ask our developers if they are ready to suggest similar experience to their peers. And I'm also asking them if they can give me those names of the peers, as I need to constantly involve new developers to our community. So it's kind of NPS score, but not really. And I also look at stickiness of the community, asking our community members if they're willing to join next community project within next 6 months. Because I need contributors to keep contributing, right? So in 2022, our community members were visible more than 120 times in more than 10 locations. And 94% is ready to stay in the community to contribute in 2023. That means we will see more community champions talking about engineering department and Kiwi.com, and it's totally time to pass the hat. Anyone would like to wear it? Thank you.